Hi, I'm Random Trashy, welcome to the channel. So I want to cover off two subjects today. The first being night vision. It's used in Airsoft and Milsim. A few opinions that I have, a little bit of advice, where I found it really good and where I found it really handy, kind of the pros of it. Secondly, I want to talk about this. This is a Generation 2 Plus Monocular. It's by a company called Cobra. This is the Demon model. And this was sent out to me by the guys over at Thomas Jacks. And they're actually a UK distributor, so you can't buy directly from them. But I will put some links in the description below where you can buy this from. It's £1,600, kind of varies between there depending on where you look, which seems quite expensive. But let me jump into the details of this a little bit further on. So firstly, it's used in Airsoft and Milsim. A lot of the hiring guys feel that it's really necessary to go and get a Generation 3 unit. And I've had many discussions with different people, especially the military guys, and they really don't understand why guys would need a Gen 3. I think it's more of a bragging status than to actually use it functionally to say that you've got a Gen 3 unit. I've used Generation 1, I've used Generation 2, I've used Generation 3, I've used Generation 3 binoculars, goggles, Generation 2 goggles and binoculars. I really have used a lot, and I'm going to give you some completely honest feedback. Firstly, there is no cheap way of doing night vision. Please don't think that you're going to go and buy one of these cheap Asian digital Generation 1 units for £100, £200, flip it over your eyes and be able to see in pitch black. They really don't work like that. The thing about night vision, and the thing that if you ask a lot of people that have gone through the stages like I have of using different devices and being quite lucky and fortunate to have an own night vision and use different models and stuff, is that there is no cheap way of doing it. So if you are saving for night vision, the best thing you can do if you really want to go and get yourself started, an Armour Sight Spark Core, there is a review of them on the channel. They're a phenomenal unit. You can pick them up for about £700 I think with all the accessories new. You do see them floating around for £450, £500 for second hand. Normally they've only got 10 hours on them, so I really wouldn't worry about the amount of lifetime used on the tube. They are very, very good units for the price. The thing that you will find with them is that you won't be able to see into all those super deep dark crevices. You're not going to be able to look into buildings, into rooms, into really dark corners, into woodland and see everything like it's a nice sunny day. They really don't work like that. And even Generation 3 units don't work like that either. So really get a good understanding of what you're buying and what the capabilities are of the unit. But that for me is a great starter unit. If you do want to kind of move to the next stage from that, this is definitely it. £1,500, available in the UK. Don't think about buying from the States. Although the prices are phenomenal, they will not probably ship to you because of ITAR. If they do, you're going to lose your unit. That end, when it's being shipped out of the States, there will be a disclaimer on nearly every website out there. I've looked at most of them. See if we can find a way around this. There really isn't. If you're buying in Europe, just be careful of any import charges. There are some dodgy people selling these on some really wacky websites online, so just please be careful. You can buy these in the UK from Scott's Country and a couple of other sellers. I was actually sent this unit by Thomas Jacks. So that's the first thing. This is a Generation 2 Plus unit. Compared to a Generation 3, the image is slightly darker. There is no two ways about that. That is something that you will notice. Also, if you look into the very distance, the actual I'd say like the field of vision seems to be much better on a Generation 3 unit. You won't get any blur around the edges. It'll be nice and crisp at the edges, and also the kind of scale of image that's in focus, so from in front of you, say to 50 meters, will be nice and clear. And sometimes with a Generation 1 you'll find that range is much smaller, and with this the range is a little bit smaller as well. The great thing about this unit in particular is I found that once I'd set this, I did not have to touch it or adjust it. I could see clear enough at my feet to be able to maneuver and move, and I could also see clear enough out to about 70 meters to be able to see anything moving in the distance. I was very, very impressed with this unit. As I say, in comparison to a Gen 3, it doesn't offer that quality. The thing is, if you're looking for a Gen 3 unit, probably about 3,600, 3,200, depending on where you look. This is £1,500. So if you're looking for that jump, then this is definitely what I would recommend. It's kind of middle ground. It's going to give you the optimum performance. It's going to give you enough capability to be able to hit people at distance. At the same time, it's bright enough in CQB scenarios and in woodlands and stuff like that for you to be able to navigate and see well as well. So a really, really good unit. One thing I will say as a bit of a disclaimer, if you are looking around forums, there are guys selling night vision and all that sort of thing, and I will touch on this very quickly. A lot of guys especially in the Milsim scene in the UK, by black market night vision. It's quite common, the MOD know about it, they know there's quite a big scene, that a lot of the night vision that comes out of the military does actually go into the Airsoft and Milsim scene. Please don't think that they're naive enough not to be preparing to do something about this. If you're going to go and drop £3,000, £2,000 with some guy that's selling his old PVS-14 because he's come out of the military and taken it with him, don't think that they're naive not to notice that everyone on Instagram is hashtagging Milsim and got an ex-mod PVS-14 on their head. Now, there is legitimate sales out there. I'm not saying that they're all black market, but the black market ones are quite clearly black market. If that goes wrong 5 days after buying it, 5 weeks after buying it, 5 months after buying it, replacing the internals on that is going to be very, very expensive. There is companies out there that do it, but footing the bill is probably going to cost you nigh on what you paid for the unit if you are going to look at new generation 3 tubes, especially Pinnacle ones or anything like that. So hopefully that's covered. Also, if the MOD turn up to a site that you're on, and if you are a frequent visitor of military sites, Stanta, Copil, or any of those, please don't think that they don't have the right to turn up, take that clean out of your hands, and leave you with nothing, because they do have that right. It is MOD property and it will always remain MOD property, and the guy that you bought it off is definitely not going to give you a refund if that happens. So yeah, that's a clear disclaimer. Just be wise about where you're buying from. This is something that is legitimate. It also means if you want to sell it in 2 years time, 3 years time, whatever, you've got a receipt, we'll have warranty, we'll have cover. If you break it, you can get replacement parts. All those sorts of things are covered with a legitimate unit. Now, I'm not being paid by any means to say this. They have not allowed me to keep this unit or anything like that. I'm actually going to go out and buy one of these models at full retail price. And that is because I thought that the unit was good. It comes in a really nice metal casing. The body on it is very, very good. The objective and focus lens is good. It means this one particularly runs on a AA, which is really nice. The CR123s are very, very expensive. So AA's are cheap as chips. It lasts for absolutely ages, the battery, and being that it's not... this is actually kind of a smaller Picatinny mount. The accessories for this are very, very cheap. So for me, it's an absolute winner. And when I used it last time, and I will put some footage up filming through this, the clarity was very, very good. So guys, it's about 11 o'clock at night. We've got full moon cover. I've got the camera on with its night mode on as well, and it's absolutely picking up nothing at all. Very difficult to see down towards the end of the garden. What I'm going to do now is to slide the night vision unit in front of the camera and turn that on. Hopefully you can see they've got some really nice sharp detail. The camera really doesn't do the unit justice for when you're looking through this with a naked eye, but as you can see, a nice bright picture with clarity all the way down towards the end of the garden. As you see, we've got some illumination appearing over the back of the fence line, and that is from some houses that are probably towards 500 metres away over the back of the property, so it really does show a lot of illumination on this. We've got some really nice detailing. The image is nice and sharp. And what I just really want to show is an IR illuminator and what that looks like when you are looking through NV, and I think the key thing about this is obviously for your target acquisition. So if you was to get something like the GMP D-Bow, which I have here in my hand, and was to use an IR illuminator, it's going to look like this. So it's almost like a bright torchlight. To be honest, I don't use it that much, but you can see here it really does brighten things up towards the back if you really was looking for some smaller detail. I think the key thing that I use with this is the IR pointer, and I'm just going to show you an example of that now. You can see that nice bright laser all the way down to the target, and that is not visible by the eye. That is only visible through night vision, so it allows you to dial this in for accuracy on top of your weapon, and then acquire targets. You can do that quite easily with this. So as you can see, that's nice and bright down to the target. The other option that you do have, and that is to run the illuminator and the pointer at the same time, and I'm going to give you a quick example of that now. You can see the bright illuminator with the pointer just to the right hand side. You can set those. I haven't set the illuminator so that the pointer is exactly in the middle of it. As you can see, it's just slightly off to the right hand side. As I say, I don't particularly tend to use that all that much. I'm just going to show you a quick example of what a visible pointer looks like through night vision as well, and this would be your traditional red laser. As you can see, it looks quite similar to the IR one through night vision, obviously the red one being visible for the naked eye, but the IR one is invisible to the naked eye, and I'm just going to jump back to that now.
and you can see that down to target, slightly brighter, nice and clear, and as you can see, really does light smaller areas up as well. If we just kind of put that into that little dark area underneath that bush, you can see that it is lighting it up, so you could almost use this as a very small IR illuminator if it was, if you were looking into some small corners or something like that. It really does have to be very, very dark for you not to be able to see through these devices. As you can see by the naked eye, I can't see towards the end of the garden at all, but through this it's really, really nice and clear.
Now it is hard for me to I use a DSLR to set a DSLR up behind this and get absolute clear focus. It really doesn't do this unit justice. It is very, very bright, and the clarity is very good. You can read a text message from your phone in front of you and look out into the distance and still have a very, very clear image. So yeah, that's hopefully covered off enough information for you. There isn't, again, no cheap way of doing it. The great things about this is safety, for one. If you've got night vision on, it does open up that clarity. If you walk through the woods and stuff, any trip fall hazards, any pits, any dugout areas, anything like that, you are going to be able to see and avoid those. Low branches, anything like that you would not see with the naked eye. This really does help when you're navigating. The other thing is target acquisition. That is where this absolutely comes into its own. That's probably the best part of going out on the night vision event and using night vision, is having your IR laser on. You see a little bit of movement through your night vision. It always gets me excited thinking about it. You lift your gun up, you put that laser on them. They can't see it, especially if they're not using NV. You put that on them, you normally get a little beep from one of your mates saying, yeah, see that you've got the target. They're targeting someone, you can see their laser on someone and you take the targets down. Or if you're clearing buildings or anything like that, and there's guys in there that can't see you and you can see them, you can put that laser on them, slot, nice accurate shot, especially if you've got guys escorting HVTs, if they're around buildings or they're around anywhere that you don't want to cause any damage or vehicles or anything. You can put that laser on someone and accurately take someone down, rather than things like tracers where you just end up spraying and just seeing a load of glowing BBs everywhere. A unit like this means that you can accurately take down targets. So that is for me where the two key things, it's the safety of manoeuvring, but it's also that target acquisition and being able to acquire targets in pitch black.
So I wanted to show you guys a very quick comparison video. This is the Armorsight Gen 1 on absolutely optimum conditions. So this is a full moon, zero cloud cover. As you can see, quite a narrow field of view, and you are beginning to get a bit of hazing on that detail. In comparison to that, this is the Cobra Demon Gen 2 Plus. This is a very cloudy night and there is much more detail, a much wider field of view. As you can see, the railings on the fence are nice and sharp. There's a lot of very, very clear detail. On the Armorsight, again, you can see that narrow field of vision, some quite dark patches, and looking into the distance you can begin to see that hazing around the outside. In comparison with the Cobra Demon, you get a very, very nice sharp clear image. Even in the distance you can see nice sharp edges.
So guys, hopefully that gives you enough information and it's a good comparison between a Gen 1 device and a Gen 2 Plus. It really does outline exactly what you're going to get from each unit. I'm massively impressed with the Cobra Demon, so a massive thank you to the guys over at Thomas Jacks for sending that out to me. Really, really impressed. Going to be picking one up myself. For the price, the availability in the UK, the easy way of mounting it and the performance from it is an absolute sell from me. I did post some pictures from it up on Facebook actually, and a lot of the guys mistook it for Gen 3. It just shows how good that unit is. So really, really impressed. If you are interested in night vision, thermal, anything high end, I've got tons and tons of videos coming to the channel thanks to the guys over at Thomas Jacks. So if you are interested in that, please make sure that you hit that subscribe button. You can do it by clicking down in the right corner. There will be a little subscribe button down there, and you can stay up to date with all of the new videos coming to the channel. So thank you very much for watching. Again, any comments, questions, feedback, anything like that, please make sure you stick it in the box below. A like and subscribe to the channel really does help me out, so make sure you hit that subscribe. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all soon.